Welcome back to the Crypto's Key Conversation. I got a lot I want to get through in this video, so I'm just going to quickly cover CoinGecko here. It's currently sitting at a $1.85 trillion market cap, currently up 1.6% for the day. So just looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin sitting at 39,066, Ethereum sitting at 2,738. Coming over here to the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index, as you can see, we're still in this extreme fear range. So obviously there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, and that's due to a lot of reasons. The different variables, obviously there's tensions between Russia and Ukraine in regards of Russia invading Ukraine. You have headlines like this. It says U.S. warns that Moscow has compiled post-invasion kill lists. And there's just a lot of uncertainty on, whether this is a real or if this is just like a ruse or a convenient excuse for the stock to sell off, or no one really knows, unless you're there, of what's really going on, behind the scenes there. But obviously you can see all markets are being affected just by, what's going on with Jerome Powell and the Fed and inflation and interest rate hikes, where they're going to take a super hawkish approach to, combating inflation, and then just all the uncertainties within the market. And as you can see, there's red, and the SP 500 almost down a full percent. You have NASDAQ almost down 1.23%. And then if you come over here to crypto, there's some green, but we're still down. And then as you can see, we're still in this extreme fear range. So just that fear, uncertainty, and doubt within the market, especially our market, has kept us in this range. So coming over here, stuff like this is also contributing. It's one of these variables that I was just talking about, not just inflation and what's going on with Russia. You have stuff like this. OpenSea, 1.7 million phishing, not from the NFT marketplace, but the point is like there's users out there that lost their NFTs due to these phishing attacks. So it's FUD like this, and negative articles and headlines like this that create fear within the markets, and then that creates sell-off. So coming down here just to cover this Yahoo article, it says OpenSea CEO Devin Finzer has responded to an apparent phishing scam that targeted its user in a 1.7 million theft of popular NFTs such as Bored Ape Yacht Clubs and Zukis. Here's the fast facts here. It says, as far as we can tell, this is a phishing attack. We don't believe it's connected to the OpenSea website. It appears 32 users thus far have signed a malicious payload from an attacker, and some of their NFTs were stolen. The phishing attack hooked over 640 ETH, reported 1.7 million in assets from 32 users. As NFTs have been collected in a wallet now labeled fake phishing 5169. The suspicious address also made transactions on rival marketplaces LooksRare and Rareable. A phishing attack is the practice of sending out fraudulent communication posing as an official source with an intent to deceive users into disclosing sensitive information. The attack coincided with the release of a new smart contract, Vern 2.3, designed to prevent a different type of exploit, and OpenSea was asking users to migrate their listings at the time. The attack doesn't appear to be active at this point. We haven't seen any malicious activity from the attacker's account in 2 hours. Some of the NFTs have been returned. So obviously, I mean, that's a positive. Some have been returned. I don't know how they did it, but just stuff like this is just contributing to this fear and uncertainty in the market, and then that gives us back in these ranges. So coming over here, here goes another one that's quite interesting when it comes to just some negativities when it comes to the U.S. and Bitcoin and crypto regulation and adoption. It says Bitcoin Archive says, breaking: South Korea's most profitable bank is launching a Bitcoin ETF. USA's protect investors. A clown. Johnny Deaton says, of course they are. Gary Gensler in the meantime wants to protect investors from Bitcoin. Notice how he allows a futures ETF so that his buddies can practice. However, so clearly we've been waiting for a Bitcoin ETF for years now. And then I know Rob from Digital Asset News is big on, like, he just doesn't think it's going to happen, because I mean I'm on the same page as him. It's like we've been waiting all this time, and then you've been hearing, oh, this ETF proposal was up, and this was that, and it's like all of them just been denied. And it's like, okay, at what point is the United States going to actually buy into what's going on, see the writing on the wall, and approve an ETF and kind of get that ball rolling? So it's quite interesting that this was brought up in that South Korea is launching theirs. Obviously Canada has theirs, but it's like, okay, when's the U.S. going to kind of step up? Coming over here goes another negative that's been huge. That's been actually, it's been good for our market, but then again, it's still negative. It says court orders freeze of Canadian Freedom Convoy crypto fundraising. The funds and over 120 crypto addresses were ordered frozen by a special injunction by an Ontario court. So obviously you can't stop blockchain, you can't stop crypto, but you can definitely freeze the on and off ramps when it comes to these centralized regulated exchanges or platforms that that the Canadian government can get them to pretty much stop them from transferring these cryptos into fiat or whatever. So obviously that's the negative. Now the positive is that you can't stop crypto and blockchain, technically speaking. So as long as you can do, you can go peer to peer, you can utilize digital assets like, Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP to, send money to support, these truckers, and they can utilize that to pay for things. That's another way. But a positive out of the negative is this. This was huge. This video by Tim Pastor says trucker receives 8K in Bitcoin on live stream. So let's check this out real quick.
The bottom line is every 2 days we got a scare. Every 2 days there's some BS about call presents and stuff like that.
Real
going
quick.
on. Hey man, how's it going?
No,
Yeah, go ahead. You're good.
I'm gonna give this to you.
Oh, nice.
Remember how I came and gave you some sats?
Yep.
There's 8 grand of Bitcoin in there.
Oh, in here.
In there. As soon as the bank shut down, we had some big donors that were like, "We need to get Bitcoin to these truckers."
Kidding.
I'm not kidding you. So keep it safe.
God, you're kidding.
Basically, open it up. There's instructions. All you do is do a recovery code. It's going to tell you to download Blue Wallet, which is what the recovery code's for. So it'll be a different wallet than the first one I showed you.
Okay.
Boot it up. It's yours.
Fuck,
Thanks for your service.
That's insane, man. That's
Sorry to interrupt.
ridiculous. No, that's
It's all
fucking.
right, dude. You came all the way here and you're saving our fucking country. That's ridiculous.
Holy shit, yeah.
That's a thank you from the Bitcoin community.
Holy fuck.
Much love,
My
bro.
cheeks are red, man. That's
There
great.
you go. I'll see you around.
Hey, threw me off. Thanks, man. That's insane, man.
Dude.
Yeah, so anyone listening, you guys caught it at a good time. So I just met that guy a week ago, and he had a Bitcoin toque on. I said, "What's up with that?" He said, "Actually, if you don't mind." So I let him sit in the truck or whatever, and we downloaded his wallet or whatever, and he said, like, there's some massive, freedom-loving people love Bitcoin and stuff like that. So he said, we're going to probably get some big donors in the future, and so whatever. And apparently there's 8 grand of Bitcoin in here. There's going to be a QR, I'm assuming, or something like that. So we're gonna see, but I guarantee it's
Open
legit.
that shit up.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's happening. People are seeing the writing on the wall. Crypto and blockchain technology is literally just taking some of that power from these centralized entities and just giving it to the people. We have the ability to, have our own, hardware wallets, or have a mobile online wallet, we'll say a URL wallet, or like, as on a Mac, you can have the extension, you can have your, your MetaMask. So you can utilize that, and you can send it, to, one another and pay for things that, obviously, if these businesses accept crypto, for instance. But it's like, it allows us to bypass, these third-party centralized entities that have the ability to, freeze or cut us off from our assets. And now we have this. So you just seen it firsthand. That gentleman gave this gentleman an envelope that has reportedly $8,000 worth of Bitcoin in it. And all he has to do is go on, download the Blue Wallet, and put in the information, and there he goes. He has funds to fight the good fight that they're fighting. The writing's on the wall. That is crazy that this was captured on film. So some more positives within the space. Bitcoin inactive supply nears record. Over 60% of Bitcoin stays unspent for at least 1 year. This is from Cointelegraph. So coming down here, says Bitcoin BTC may be struggling at 40,000, but fresh data is reinforcing the fact that hardly anyone is interested in selling. So that's absolutely massive. So you have that, and then on top of a lot of whales, and a lot of people are still purchasing Bitcoin from exchanges and taking them off exchanges. So the supply on exchanges is dying down. So whenever, people do want to go in and pay for it, obviously, with the demand is high, but the supply is low, it's just going to increase price. And then you have people, continuing to hold, not selling. It says data from on-chain analytics from Glassnode shows that despite price volatility, over 60% of the Bitcoin supply has not left its wallet in a year or more. So coming down here, they show a Bitcoin holder waves chart. Here goes a screenshot of it, and this is from Unchained Capital. But if you come down here, it says there have only been 2 occasions where 1 year plus hodling of Bitcoin has been higher, currently 61%. Early 2016 price of 380 to 450 range, and then the mid 2020 price of 9,000. Both times were during a prolonged consolidation before a huge bull run. You know what? You know, is BC Backer right when he's saying he thinks Bitcoin's in a bear market and we're just waiting for a retracement, or all the other analysts that I follow that say, hey, no, Bitcoin still has another leg up. What's going to happen? Are we going to see that 100K? I guess it's just a waiting game. So there's a quote down here that says, long-term hodlers are patiently hodling because they know what's likely coming, says Philip Swift, an analyst in trading suit descent trader. So Philip says long-term hodlers patiently hodling because they know what's likely coming soon. So it's just a waiting game to see what's going to happen. Obviously, on-chain analytics and data have been showing that there has been decreased supplies on exchanges. People are moving them to cold storage, and obviously people are hodling. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Here goes another one. It says Federal Reserve officials banned from owning cryptocurrency stocks after public outcry. This is from Blockworks. The move, which follows controversy over personal trades from members, is said that the Fed to guard against even the appearance of conflict of interest. So obviously, when it comes to insider trading stuff, these government officials, they have the inside information because they're the ones setting the policies going forward for companies, for instance. But it's like, okay, so they have that inside knowledge and information that the public doesn't necessarily have. So they have the ability to go in and purchase individual stocks or certain cryptocurrencies. So it's like, at what point is that just like not right when the public doesn't have that information? So this is a positive. Coming over here, Blockworks also tweeted, California State Senator filed a bill to allow residents to pay for government services in Bitcoin and crypto. So we covered this in our previous two videos. We were talking about, at one point, people were saying, oh, Bitcoin legal tender in California, but it was like, no, it was about allowing residents to pay for government services in Bitcoin and crypto, in certain businesses and so on. Coming over here, it says, FTX launches a gaming unit to boost crypto and NFTs adoption by game publishers. The gaming industry is valued at $173 billion and is expected to reach $314 billion by 2026. Really take that in. $314 billion by 2026. That's 4 years from now. This is absolutely massive. To end on this one, so we've talked about NFTs, crypto gaming, Metaverse. Look at this. New Sony and Manchester City to create the world's first football stadium in the Metaverse. You got Facebook turning into Meta. You have, JP Morgan getting in the Metaverse. You have all these major corporations and companies buying into the Metaverse because they see what's happening. They see the writing on the wall. They see the money that can be made. Look at this. $314 billion by 2026. This crypto NFTs, crypto gaming, and Metaverse, massive place, massive user base, massive communities. People are seeing the writing on the wall. It's just a matter of when this thing really takes off. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.